We have a major New York Yankees update as Aaron Boone has revealed his plans for where he'll be playing multiple different New York Yankees, such as Cody Bellinger, Jasson Dominguez, and much more when it comes to their infield as well, specifically where Jazz Chisholm will be playing, as he could really play anywhere in the infield, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as always. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a ton of Yankees Digest. If you're part of that 76% not subscribed and you want daily New York Yankees news, updates, rumors on trades, injury reports, bunch of fun stuff coming to the channel, especially with the season right around the corner. Preseason is in less than a month. I cannot wait. And we're going to have a bunch of fun stuff coming out then. But let's jump into the video. That's what we're all here for. Aaron Boone spoke a lot on what his plans are for the New York Yankees, for their infield specifically, but as well as their outfield, as something that has been talked about in the past is now officially confirmed by Boone, who said that he'll likely be going with Cody Bellinger in center field and Jasson Dominguez in left field, as Bellinger can move around if needed, where he'd like to keep Dominguez in one spot while Jasson Dominguez kind of gets his footing in the MLB. We'll also get back to this in a little bit, but just to look at Cody Bellinger. Bellinger had a good season last year. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's finding his way back after really falling apart after that MVP year with a 751 OPS, an OPS plus of 111. He had solid numbers for sure. On top of that, a 2.2 WAR, which is solid. Batting average of 266. Look, Cody Bellinger had a good season offensively, and we know he's a great defender. He's got a great arm. He's a really good athlete. He's a good base runner. He gives the Yankees a lot of things that they were missing out on last season. Also is a left-handed batter, which is great for the team. He will play first base once in a while when the Yankees maybe don't have Paul Goldschmidt in there, but he'll mainly be in the outfield, and as Boone said, he can move him around a bit, so when a guy potentially like Everson Pajeda, who we're going to talk about in a few minutes, when he's around and is a true center fielder, they might move Bellinger to left field. Also, left field's less exhausting, so it is a nice way to kind of maybe not force Bellinger to play center field all the time, so they can move him around and use him in other roles. However, there is a lot more that we have to talk about, but also with Dominguez, who will be in left field. I actually like this. I understand Dominguez is a natural center fielder. Don't get me wrong. But Dominguez is coming off of a torn UCL not that long ago, and he did struggle when he got to the majors. In 56 at-bats this season, he had a .01 WAR, and the batting average wasn't good. He really just couldn't find his groove at all this season, and that's fine. He didn't really have the greatest time to it. Coming off an injury when you're young, it's all right. He looked really good before he got injured in that one season that he first came out as, and now Dominguez is, for the first time, given a guaranteed everyday role, and the expectation is that he's going to ball out in this position, and I think he's going to, and part of the reason why he had that negative .1 WAR is because of the fact that the man was just really not great in the field after returning off an injury. Dominguez is someone with a ton of potential in that outfield. There's a reason why he's nicknamed the Martian. He's great at everything. He was called a bunch of different names that essentially are the equivalent to this guy's a generational prospect. The New York Yankees still see him as so. He's the number one prospect on the roster, but he's now 23 years old. He's getting up there from what he once was, and now it's gut check time. The Yankees are putting him in a real role, and they're going to see how Jasson Dominguez fares in the outfield. And warming him up by putting him in left field, I think, is a good move while he still gets his legs under him in the major leagues. I'm a big fan of this. I think Aaron Boone's absolutely right to do this. But on top of that, when, as we said, we talk about Pajeda for like a minute, Pajeda's also going to be an option for the outfield mix, and he'll mainly be in center field, I'd imagine, which would move Bellinger to left at points or potentially to first base, or give Bellinger the night off and have Judge out there along with Jasson Dominguez and Everson Pajeda. He also did mention that Jasson Dominguez, who we were just talking about, could potentially be the leadoff hitter along with Jazz Chisholm. We'll look at Jazz's stats in a moment, but speaking of Jazz, the final thing that Aaron Boone also talked about is the fact that he has Jazz Chisholm at second base and DJ LeMahieu, Oswaldo Cabrera, and Oswald Peraza competing for third base right now. Now, as I said, Dominguez, I do think he could be the leadoff hitter. Batting from both sides is excellent, especially when considering you could put Chisholm or Bellinger at the two-hole spot, so you could have a lefty still right in front of Aaron Judge with that Aaron Judge protection. Both Chisholm and Bellinger have had very successful hitting seasons, so it would make some sense to get them some Judge protection, and obviously they will not replicate what Juan Soto was able to do, but they will be able to put up good numbers with that Aaron Judge protection, and if Jasson Dominguez has it going, then he's going to be an excellent guy to toss right in that one-hole slot. a position that the Yankees do still need to fill for sure. Now, Jazz is the other option there, and Jazz, I mean, a really, really good base runner, which is a huge part of it. An OPS of 760, which is excellent for a second baseman. OPS plus of 107. On-base percentage is good. Batting average 256. He's not the most ideal one-hole hitter in the world, but he can definitely handle it. I like him better as a two-hole hitter because then you have arguably your best base runner right there in front of Aaron Judge, which I think is a perfect scenario. So I'd rather it go Dominguez, Jazz, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Bellinger, or you just flip Jazz and Bellinger. I think one of those is the option. You could put both Jazz and Bellinger at the 1-2 hole or move Aaron Judge back to 2, but Judge likes being at 3, and do what Aaron Judge wants, honestly. Just do it. Do what the hell Aaron Judge wants. Don't overthink that. On top of that, it makes more sense that way to not have your 2 top lefties at the 1 and 2 holes, when then you also have Austin Wells at 4. Like, you're just bunching all your lefties into the top of that order, and it just doesn't make sense. So I don't really think we'll see the Yankees do that at all. I do think we'll see the Yankees move it around to where Chisholm could be at 6th at some points, and Bellinger could be at 2, and Dominguez could be at 1. And then things do fare a little bit differently. And if Oswaldo Cabrera does kind of win that third base spot more than anyone else, he's a switch hitter. He could throw at the bottom of the order, which does help, like at the 8 slot or something like that. So you could really continue to spread out those lefties in a way the Yankees like to do. They like to go righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, and throughout. That's the way that the Yankees prefer to play. So I do think they'll kind of mirror that again. I don't see Aaron Boone changing that up at all. But Jazz Chisholm's a very solid player. I really like Jazz Chisholm on the Yankees. I don't see why people have a problem with him. I'm a huge fan of Jazz. If you ask me, do you like Jazz? The answer is absolutely yes. That was so corny. I apologize for that. Meanwhile, DJ LeMahieu is someone who's going to get a chance to come back and really show what he's got, according to Aaron Boone, if he's still got anything left in the tank. In 201 at-bats last year, he was just horrific. There's no way around it. He had a 204 batting average. I mean, just not the same guy. OPS 527. There was a time when this guy had the best contact bat in baseball. In those days, we're now 4 years removed from that. Even 5 years removed from that, really. Like, he's not the same anymore, man. He might give you something, and I hope he does, because I like DJ, but there's really no way to believe that DJ LeMahieu is going to be back to that player that he was years and years ago with the Yankees. I see why they're going to try. Him being fully healthy for the first time in a very long time could potentially have something that could help him show that he's got a little bit left in the tank. But if you're banking on DJ LeMahieu and Paul Goldschmidt, like you're banking on 2 older guys who have taken a bit of a dip to have something left in the tank, you're really, really thinning yourself out in a way that I don't think is a great idea. I don't think the guy here is LeMahieu at all. Oswaldo Cabrera, to me, seems like the guy who will likely win the third base role. The hitting has definitely been spotty at times, but he finished the season with a 247 batting average, and that's fine for the 8-hole hitter or something like that, as I was mentioning earlier. OPS is 661 isn't great, but his fielding is very good. His base running is good, and he's had moments where he's looked like he's on the cusp of breaking out into a very solid player for the Yankees, who could absolutely be an everyday role for them. So I think Cabrera will actually win it because the Yankees favor him. Though, I stand by this. My favorite option is Oswald Peraza. I stand by it. I know he only had 10 at-bats, and in his career he's had 232 at-bats, so not too many for his career, and his batting average wasn't good, and everything else. I mean, the numbers don't even really matter that much because how little he went up to the plate. But I like Oswald Peraza as the guy. Great base runner, great fielder, good arm. Checks a bunch of boxes, and you got to take a chance to see if you have something with a guy who once upon a time was who everyone thought would be their future shortstop before Volpe really broke out onto the seams the way he did, or broke out into the scene, because there was a world where Volpe wouldn't have been able to field well enough. They would have had to move him to third and Oswald to shortstop. Now it feels like it's the other way around. I think the Yankees should give Oswald a chance. I don't see the reason why not to. This is the time that you do that. Oswald in the minors has been fine. He's actually put up pretty good numbers last season, 750 OPS. Solid batting average, nothing special. Again, he'd be at the bottom of the order, but he is someone who gives you some power, gives you some base running, gives you some fielding. You got to see if he could break out at the major league level, and it feels like it's now or never for the New York Yankees. So my position is still, if you ask me, and so if you ask me, I was going to make a joke about myself, but no, we're just going to go through this. If you ask me personally, I would like the Yankees order. Say they don't sign anyone else, and I still think they're going to bring in someone else to be their fielder. Third base now, it's pretty much guaranteed, which is a good thing because Chisholm Second base is a more important position, so Jazz Chisholm should obviously be playing second base, where he's one of the best fielders in baseball. So that just makes perfect sense to me. But on top of that, I think ideally you go Dominguez or Volpe as your leadoff guy. I know Volpe's been spotty at it, but the Yankees don't have a clear leadoff guy. They don't. They didn't address that at all this offseason. I don't know why, but they didn't, and it's really annoying. So you look at them now, you go Dominguez or Volpe. Let's go Dominguez because I think Dominguez has a higher ceiling as the one-hole guy. After that, you put Bellinger, then Judge, then Wells, then Stanton, then Chisholm 6th, Goldschmidt 7th, Peraza 8th. And I guess that leaves Anthony Volpe 9th. No, absolutely not. That's a lot of righties at the bottom order. See, that's the thing even. Like, you could put Goldschmidt 6th and then Jazz 7th and Volpe 8th, Peraza 9th. It feels like Volpe at first gives the Yankees the right, left that they want. So you have Volpe, either Jazz or Cody Bellinger. I think Bellinger's a better hitter. So Bellinger, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Jazz at 6th, Goldie at 7th. It's the same. Jazz at 6th, Goldie at 7th, Dominguez at 8th, Peraza at 9th, or at least start the year that way. If you want to give Dominguez a little bit of a slow grind coming up, you start that way, and if Dominguez is playing well enough, you move him to the starting order and you figure the rest out later. I think that would make more sense. The Yankees will obviously mess around with the lineup throughout while they figure out what works for them this season. But what do you guys want the starting lineup to be? I want to hear you guys. What's their batting order? Who's your third baseman? Where should everyone play? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.